Hello everybody and welcome to Starting a New City in Cities Skylines. I am super excited about this one. We have been playing a lot of Cities Skylines 2 recently, and I've really been missing the first Cities Skylines, and so after a few comments I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take the plunge. And so the map we are playing on is called Yucatan Bay, and it is by Bringer of Fire, and so naturally what we're going to call this city is Cancun. Because Cancun is actually in the Yucatan in Mexico. So I did do a little bit of research on their road layouts and everything. They are a pretty heavily gridded city. Some really interesting characteristics of Cancun though are hotel districts. So their hotel district is on this massive little kind of peninsula island thing. And so I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn this into our main tourist kind of downtown hub, but then we're also gonna have some secondary downtowns. Like I think we're gonna eventually do a downtown in here, probably even have a downtown down here as well with some hotels on the beaches and stuff. And I think it's gonna be really exciting. So that's one of the strategies that I utilize when starting a new city. Try to envision what you wanna get out of the city. And I found that it really helps me as I move along, as I start confronting problems, as I'm building and building, you know, to keep that motivation like, all right, this is the finished product that I wanna get. If you're new to this game, welcome. When you first start off, you are gonna pretty much be limited to one movement, and that is to place a single 2-unit road like this. And once you place even just a smidge of it like that, it unlocks the rest of the roads. But what I'm going to do is actually draw this all the way down. We're going to place that right there. And then I'm actually going to copy something that we've done in the past from Crater Lake. And I'm going to do a little square. The reason I do this is because I like to think ahead. And one of the things that I'm thinking about is putting a transit hub here. And so we do have a little bit of an issue with the trees on the roads. I am playing with mods. This is my preferred method of playing in this game. I do have a vanilla version in my Cities Skylines beginner's guide, and so you're interested, I'll go ahead and leave a link at the bottom of the video. We will be touching on some mods as we're going along. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and let me know. The second tip that I usually tell people early on is to use dirt roads. It's really up to you how long you want to use dirt roads. I do tend to use them for quite a bit longer than most people. These dirt roads are just a lot cheaper, so whenever you have any items within this game, if you go ahead and hover over them, they have a cost of 20 per cell to lay, and then it has a 19 cents per week upkeep. So if we go into the standard 2-unit road, the one that we just had, this one is almost double. So it's 14 a cell to lay and 32 cents a week for upkeep. So it's really not a whole lot more. This is something that you do tend to see in smaller towns. And what I mean by that is downgrading to dirt roads. Dirt roads serve a great function in a lot of settings, and having paved roads is just really expensive for a lot of cities to have. So now what we're going to do, we're going to draw this out here. And the reason we're doing that is because I want to have a marker for this. So I'm going to come out here. And one of the things you'll notice, these little kind of curves and everything with any networks, not just roads. You'll see this with like key walls, fences, anything that basically has this sort of look. You have a bunch of different options down here. Just to be as easy to understand as possible, I'm only going to touch on a few of them. So your first one is toggling. And what this is that little snap that you get. Anytime you get a snap like this, with anything network related or building or whatever, it's called a snap. So you can come down here and choose what you want it to snap to. So angle, road length, grid, road guidelines. I often will just toggle them all. Like if you go free, then it doesn't really snap to anything. It still kind of does snap to the tip a little bit, but it doesn't pull drastically. And especially once you start drawing, it doesn't get pulled to anything. So this allows you to really kind of capture a clean look if you want to. So then moving on, we have straight road, curved road, and freeform. Curved road is if you're really trying to get like a perfect circle. So if you want to come up here, do a quick 90, go like that. I could do a circle going all the way around. It is a really good tool. I often use freeform. Freeform is very similar to the curved. It just doesn't give you those side guidelines. It does still give you the 90 though. So if you're trying to capture that perfect curve, you can still get it with freeform. The reason I like freeform is because it allows you to change directions really easily. It allows you to go straight. And a lot of times you'll catch me just literally staying in freeform. And then last but not least, we have the upgrade road tool. So if you want to change your road, you can just go in here. Like if we wanted to go down to a dirt road, we could click that. And then if we wanted to go back, we just go back to that road, go ahead and upgrade it. Bam, super easy. So now that we have that, let's go back to freeform. We're going to come off this at a 90 degree. We're going to go like this, and then we're going to curve it all the way down. And we want it to butt up right next to that grid pattern right there. And we're going to go ahead and copy that on this side as well. So we're going to come out here. Let's go probably about like right there and then come up so that we can get that guideline. We're going to go back into freeform and we're going to slide this way. And remember, we want to kind of match it up with that grid. Perfect. And so we want to do a couple things here. I want to have a grid pattern, but I want it to kind of change directions. I really feel like it's going to help us to capture a nice clean look. So we're going to come out here, go 2, And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into freeform, and we may need to do exactly what I said and turn off freeform. So we're going to go like this for now. And then what I'm going to do is go into curved road. I really want to get just a nice clean curve on this. So we're going to go just like that. Then we're going to go back into freeform, and we are going to begin to curve this down, hopefully right there. Let's go ahead and bring this up a bit. I would like to go, yep, like right there, perfect. And the reason we're doing that is because this outside line right here will allow us to kind of change the overall look of what we're getting in here. So we're going to go ahead and bring this across. I'm going to turn off road guidelines because I just want that grid. And then I'm going to bring this down. We're going to go ahead and leave this empty for maybe like a shopping district or something like that. But we do want to get at least one more in here. We're going to go just like this. We're going to bring this up. We want to go at a 90. And then now we're going to actually change directions and come over here. We want to make sure to turn back on road guidelines though. So we're going to go like this. We're going to get that little note in there. And then now what we can do is bring this all the way across. And we do have kind of some close intersections right there. But honestly, I don't think that that is the end of the world. And then we're going to go ahead and leave it like that. I'm going to have a couple little crossroads in here just to provide that accessibility for this road. But now just by doing that, what we've done is created a nice clean look in there. And we could probably even go in here and do one more if we wanted to. Let's see what this looks like, because maybe we could just do like a park or something in there. Let's go like this. Yeah, you know what, that looks pretty good. I like the overall look. We're going to do a nice mixture of low density, high density. Because we don't really want to spend all of our money early on, we are going to be a little bit careful with this. So we're going to bring this all the way out. And then it is ideally best to get at least a couple entrance ways. So I think what we're going to do 2, and then we're actually going to bring this over. We are going to expand this over here, but I want to eventually do a bridge with some freeway access or something like that, because otherwise we're going to create a little bottleneck in here. One of the biggest problems that you'll see with people in Cities Skylines is traffic. And one of the easiest ways to avoid that is to just watch your placement of industrial and how much you end up zoning industrial. So if we do like a huge industrial area, what happens is each one of those buildings is going to spawn trucks at a certain rate. And then those trucks are just going to get congested on your road layout. And so if you keep your yellow industry to a minimum and you kind of just spread it throughout your city rather than doing large pockets, you'll do your city a huge favor with the traffic just by following that one tip. But then the second thing you can do, and this is something that I see for a lot of people, they'll do the residential and then say they're like, oh, I want to do my industrial right here. So they'll put the industrial right here. The industrial has to then drive through the residential to get to the freeway. Industrial needs clean access to the freeway. You don't want it driving through anything. You ideally want it to have a direct access point to your highway. So a lot of times if you're having traffic issues, all you really need to do is just create another freeway entrance, and a lot of times it just fixes all your problems. So now what we're going to do, we're going to bring this all the way down. I think we're going to go ahead and leave this corner empty for a future electrical plant, because we're going to come down here and we're going to place one down. We're going to go just like that. And then I think what we're going to do, let's go ahead, just because we're playing around with this, we're going to place some parking. Let's see how much this costs first. So 2,000, we're going to go ahead and place just one of them. This is something that I kind of want to be mindful in this, because in Cities Skylines 2, parking is a lot more important than it is in this one. Parking is not important at all in Cities Skylines 1. And so it is something that I would like to pay attention to. We're going to go ahead and bring this across. We're going to go just like this. We are going to go through and probably change up some of the grids, but I think for right now, this is good, because I do want to also have kind of an interesting design for this as well. What we need to do now is do some water. So we're going to go ahead and plop a water tower. We're going to probably have to move that in the future once we do get our little transport hub in there. And then now let's go ahead and turn, I'm thinking this middle section into a water district. So we're going to grab that. We're going to go ahead and do some parking. Let's do some parking on the opposite side as well, just so that we can kind of capture a little bit better of a look. Yeah, you know, I think that looks good. And we'll probably come through here and do some fences, just kind of clean this up. I think that this would be a really good area for like a large electrical plant of some kind. So we'll probably end up leaving this empty for quite a little while. Maybe even put our landfill in there too. I think that could be cool. Maybe put our landfill over here. So now that we have that, what we do need to do is place down some water pipes. And this is something that you don't need to do in Cities Skylines 2, but you do in Cities Skylines 1. So we're going to go ahead and bring this all the way down, connect it up, and then I'm going to lay them through the city as quickly as possible. All right, now that we have that, let's go ahead and make sure that we have some electrical power. So we're going to come down to these transmission lines, and we're going to go all the way down to right about here, and then we're going to begin to cross. We want to come all the way down to our water tower, and then let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's go right here, because I'm not really sure exactly what we're going to do with this space yet. And then we do need to start zoning. So what we want to do is be considerate of commercial zoned areas. So we're going to go ahead and plop one right here in the middle. I think that this is a good location, very centralized. And then what we can do is go ahead and place some residential going all the way around. I'm not going to be too particular about the overall size of it. You can kind of see we are getting some smaller squares on this side, which isn't the greatest. But we could probably even do a small commercial area over here as well. I think that would be good. And then let's come through, do that, do this, do that. You know what, let's turn this into a park area, bring this around, and then I think we're gonna go ahead and leave this empty for now because we're just not really sure exactly what we're gonna do with that. Now, this right here could potentially be an issue. We're not entirely sure if the power outlet, if this is gonna jump across. What we're gonna do just to ensure that it does is connect that up. And so now we are at a place where we have electrical, we have our coal power plant, we have a transmission line going all the way down. It has connected to our water tower and to our sewage treatment facility. And then we have water treatment and fresh water. And so now we're in a pretty good spot where we can go ahead and hit play. And then let's see what happens with this. So we have our first buildings coming in and it is already looking pretty good. I do have quite a few custom models installed in here. And one of the things that you're going to notice is that they will start blending with the default district style. I have gone through and turned off a lot of the ones that I no longer wanted, but there still are quite a few in there. And so what we're going to do is just have to wait for districts and areas to be unlocked at the population of 950, and then I think we'll be pretty good. We actually have a bunch of buildings. We have nobody moving in just yet, and so I'm hoping we'll start to get our first residents here soon. It actually does look like we forgot one very important thing, and that is yellow industry. So we need to go ahead and place some of those down. We got our residential coming in. Should really only be a couple more seconds, and we should be pretty good. Yeah, it looks like we got our first residents. Let's see if we got anybody moving in yet. We got no building, no cars. Where is everybody? All right, so just a few moments later, we do have some trucks coming in. We have our lovely ore truck coming in with a delivery to our coal power plant, which is fantastic. We need to make sure that that electricity is humming along. And we do have some pretty crazy industrial buildings over here. It appears as though I may not have turned off all the district styles I initially intended, but it's okay because I do like some of these buildings in here. These aren't standard buildings. These are buildings that I've gotten off of the Steam Workshop. And basically what happens is it gets thrown into the standard district style. And so they can actually become growables, which is awesome. I didn't really like that tall one though. I felt like that was really out of place. But now we are growing pretty good. Our demand's going up and down. We're really just waiting to hit that first milestone. And so talking about milestones, we can come down here and click on this little lock. Milestones are kind of like an arbitrary goal method, something to keep you motivated for your city. They're actually really easy to hit, especially versus Cities Skylines 2. Cities Skylines 2, it's a lot more challenging. You know, it's a lot more of a game, whereas this, you can kind of just build as quickly as possible and you'll probably hit a lot of the milestones. One of the things to keep in mind though, these do change for the size of the map and it's based off of the total buildable area. So for this one, the first one is 460, and then the last one I believe is 75,000. So if we go all the way down to Megalopolis, yeah, 75,000. On some maps, like if you're building on just an incredibly flat map, it'll be like 90,000 or something like that. And I remember the first time I noticed that, I was like, wait, I thought this was lower. I don't know why this is 90,000 now. And then I realized, oh man, it changes per map. And so that is something to keep in mind. Like if you do want to hit Megalopolis as quickly as possible, maybe you should choose like a smaller map, like or maybe even the archipelago. But we are about to come up on our milestone. Okay, and just a few moments later, we have hit Little Hamlet. Congratulations. Little Hamlet reach a population of 460. So what do we unlock with this? We unlock quite a few things. So a couple features, taxes and loans, which I typically try not to mess with loans, though changing the taxes right away is pretty smart. So we have a couple new city services. We have garbage, healthcare, and education. And then these are all the new lovely buildings we have unlocked. We do need to make a couple decisions right off the bat using the money we have. So we're actually going to pause real quick. And we need to, first off, raise our taxes. We're going to go down to this little money icon. This opens up your whole economy tab. So you have taxes, budget. So you can actually come in here and kind of lower things, raise things as you wish. A lot of times people will lower down the water or electric. It does help with money. But honestly, like it's not a huge deal, I don't think. I think it does actually speed up your money quite a bit. So let's go ahead and drop those down and just kind of see where we're at. We can always come back through because it's just going to allow us to build a little bit faster. So now what we're going to do is bump these up to 12, go like that. And then we're going to hit play and check on that water and electric, make sure we didn't starve our cities real quick. Starve our cities. So we're going to go ahead and triple time it. This should drop down now that we've dropped our, yeah, look at that. Perfect. So we're actually pretty close to where we should be. Let's bump that slider up just a bit for both of them because I'd rather have a little bit of room to grow rather than having to constantly come in here and readjust it. We are already back up to making quite a bit of money. We're making about 1,000 a week right now, which is fantastic. So we need to place a few things. we're going to go into this little factory kind of tab, and one of them is garbage. And we're going to place a landfill. And I think we actually are going to put it, I was thinking like right over here. This could be a really good location. So if we draw back a road, we'll cut the power plant in half. We'll go just like that. And then let's put our landfill like right here. And then we are going to be expanding into a recycle center. Not right now, because you can see the cost is 16,000. I really don't want to spend all of our money on that right now. But we are going to go ahead and do that in the future. And so that's why I kind of left a little bit of space. Now we do need to do some services as well. Healthcare is very important. I do have the European theme active, and so it's also showing us those European buildings. So normally I like to place these kind of tucked away. You don't really want them on your main building, because having ambulances and stuff having to brake on your main road just really isn't the best. So what I normally try to do, I try to place it just off your main road. Having it on the main road can kind of create some issues, especially in real life where you have like an ambulance trying to brake and turn in front of people. And so now, last but not least, what we do need to place is the elementary school. You can see we're a little bit low, but I think what we're going to do, I think we're going to go ahead and place the elementary school right here and do the high school right there, because then we're going to turn this into a park area. And I think that this is just going to be a really nice centralized location for something like that. Our demand for residential is starting to creep up. So I think let's place down this school real quick, and then we're going to start focusing on expansion. So I do want to have a little bit of an inlet for this. We're going to go ahead and go like this, and then I'm going to go and bring it just like that. Fantastic. And then let's grab our elementary school. Let's go ahead and go just like this. And then let's actually bring this road back. You know what? Let's go like that. I don't think it's entirely necessary, and you can see it even kind of messed up our curve a little bit. But I do want to eventually put a playground in here, and then probably even some more park assets around the outside. That's why I'm going to leave that empty for right now. We'll probably even put in a little parking lot right there. Let's see if we can squeeze one in. So if we go down to this mod called Find It, we can go look up parking. So we need 2,000. We'll go ahead and wait just a bit. We're going to have 2,000 here in just a second. Actually, no, we'll probably wait till we have parks, because when do we unlock parks? So we get at 1,400. That's actually pretty close. What I want to do now, we are going to, first off, use this as an arterial road. And I want to upgrade it before we get a little too crazy, because once we start moving stuff around, it's going to be kind of hard for us to upgrade this. So let's actually grab this. We're going to use a median road, and we're going to upgrade this all the way down. And of course, pretty tight on money. We're going to have to go back and forth. We're making good money right now though, so it's going to come by fast. So basically what I'm thinking with this road, we're going to eventually turn this into a bridge of some kind and branch across to our middle island. And then one of the things I do with my arterials is I don't like to zone on them. I think we're going to eventually turn this into an arterial as well. I think that this is going to be a really good connection to our freeway. I do think we're going to end up reworking some of this. I don't particularly like this setup. I think it looks cool. It definitely looks cool. I just, for efficiency's sake, I think it would be better if we got rid of this, kept maybe the bridge, and then did a couple other little exits right here. Like we could do a bridge right here, have it kind of snake up, connect to the freeway, and then one down here. And I think it's just going to provide a little bit better access for us. Maybe even one down there too. And that's one of the tricks that I kind of tell people, like if you're worried about traffic, you can always just grow along the freeway and just keep adding in entrances, and you'll be surprised how much that gets rid of your traffic. And so let's go ahead and plop in this last one real quick. And again, we're probably gonna have to come through and kind of play around with this, do a bridge or something like that. And then let's go back into rural. And this is a mod that I'm using as well called Yet Another Toolbar. And it is fantastic. It kind of breaks it all down into just easier sections to find. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and bring this across. And I want it to go in like right here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring that up and I'm going to connect that right there. And I think we may even, let's do one across. Go ahead and turn off road guidelines so that we can get that nice clean square. And then what I'm thinking, we'll probably bring that there and then come up at a 90. And it looks like this is going to be, how is this going to look? Let's go ahead and check that out. I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that. So we're going to delete this. We're going to connect that up. Yeah, you know, we may turn that into a roundabout. I think that would be probably a little bit smarter for us. But we're going to go ahead and bring that like that. And then let's bring this up. Let's bring our road all the way down. Probably even curve this one in. So if we curve this up, maybe we could probably have this curve down. I think that could look good. So let's do a curved road. We're going to grab this and we're going to go into freeform. It's going to allow us just a little bit better movement. If we go straight first. So let's go straight just a little bit and then bring this back, go like that. and then curve this back. Let's go ahead and turn on road guidelines. We want this to be straight and connect that up. Yeah, you know what, that looks interesting. We kind of tucked it back into the grass a little bit, but then it mirrors the other side a little bit. So I think it overall just makes it look a little bit better. And of course, that wasn't perfectly straight. I know that's not the end of the world, but it is something that I do prefer that to be straight. So we're going to go ahead and bring that across now. And then we are going to have this come up, turn, and then we're going to have this one come up and just connect. I think that looks pretty good. That way what we can do is connect this up. And you know what, that looks pretty interesting. I like the broken grid nature of this. Some people may, find that a little frustrating that it's not perfect, but I think it just makes it look a little more natural, So we're going to go into freeform. Let's draw this one across now. We're going to go just like this. Let's go parallel with the road. And then what I'm thinking, we might even be able to do a curve. Let's go back into that curved road tool. Let's come up here. Yeah, if we go like that, look at that. Yeah, we can draw that in now. You know what? That looks awesome. I'm a huge fan of that. So we're going to go like that. And then we are going to just draw this across. It looks like we're running low on money again. So maybe we'll just start zoning some stuff in. I'm going to lay down some water pipes real quick. All right, so water pipes in, and I did save up a little bit more to finish some of our road layout. I did also decide to cut this one in half because I was like, that's such a big space. We're going to have a park right here. We'll have to kind of figure out something to do back here because we're going to have to do something with this space as well. I don't really want to cut in and create more of a grid because it's going to kind of mess up this curve that we have going on. We may even be able to just do like a duplicate road that kind of, stays separated, but then connects up, maybe do like a small residential area or something like that. Go ahead and let me know what you guys decide. We're going to be leaving a lot of space in here for us to have future expansion. And so I'm not big on filling in every space every episode because you really want to leave some space for your imagination. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and do some small commercial right there. I think this little section would probably be good too. I think that's good. And then let's do some residential, maybe do a little park area right there. Nope, we got a big park in the middle. We don't need that. So we'll come in here. Let's do some more residential, go just like that. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do some residential right there. And then, you know what, just because we're right here, we're going to do the same thing right there. I think that looks good. Because in that way, we left a little bit of buffer room for our arterial. We're going to come back through and maybe do some pathways, stuff like that. And then now all we're really waiting on is the next expansion. You can kind of see we have some room for some industrial over there, but we've really kind of built in a lot of our residential. This is good. I really like the road layout a lot. I think this is looking cool. What we can do is actually continue this on while we're waiting for that to grow. So I do want to turn this into a little bit of a couplet. So we're going to have this go up. I'm a huge fan of couplets. Ever since I took a trip to Boston, Boston has a really awesome use of couplets in their downtown. I became just a giant fan of them. And so we're going to go like this. We're going to connect this up. We're going to do the same thing on this side, go just like that. Fantastic. And so we are going to draw these out. We'll go just like this. And let's go ahead and draw this one out as well. Kind of tempted to curve this one away. Let's, you know what? Let's do that. I think that's going to create more of an interesting area. So if we go just like that, cut this in. Yeah, you know what? Because then we'll come down. So then we need to go right in the middle of this, and we need to go about halfway. We'll go just like that. And so basically what you do is you come down here and you go just like that and connect it up. And our curve is probably a little more pronounced than I was hoping for it to be. But let's go ahead and look at it just to see. And before I could even finish doing that, congratulations, we have hit Worthy Village. Man, we're already a Worthy Village. So 950 populations. Congratulations. I'm really excited about this. So we have unlocked some squares, which we don't really have. I've already unlocked them all with 81 tiles, which is a mod. We have districts. Awesome. So we need to start placing those down. Another loan, district specializations, which are these agriculture and forestry. These are part of the supply chain in Cities Skylines. Ultimately, the end goal of any of our supply chains is to create commercial goods, and these can be imported or exported. And these get brought to your commercial zones, sold throughout your city. And so it's one of the ways that you make money in Cities Skylines. We have gotten emergency services, the police department, and some unique buildings, self-sufficient buildings, which is awesome, organic and local produce, which I really like, and some policies. And so we'll be playing around with a lot of those today. And so going back to this, basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this back by probably a couple squares, and then we will bring our offshoot in. We'll go like this, go all the way down, and then basically I'll bring this out, and I'm just trying to pronounce the curve a little bit better. So then we'll go back in the middle here, and I want it to be probably about like right there. And so all I'm gonna do is make that curve a little less accentuated by kind of expanding it out here. And we'll still be able to kind of play around with this. So if we come out here, curve it in, and then go like this, yeah, you know what? I think that looks a little bit better. It's just not as sharp as it was before, and it leaves a lot of room in the middle for us to do something cool, which I like. I think this is going to be an awesome use of this road. I kind of don't really like this entranceway though. I think what we'll do, I'm tempted to upgrade this into a bigger road already. I think what we're going to do, instead of having it come off of one road, I think we're actually going to have these come all the way down into the square. I don't know what happened there, but it wasn't straight for a second. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks a little bit better. And because these are going to be one ways, it's really not going to create too much of an issue in our square. But it also leaves some room for us to be able to do like a metro line coming down the middle, which I think is going to be awesome. So we are going to have this side curve up. I'm going to actually turn into the curve tool because I want this to go at a 90. And then we're going to go into freeform. We're going to curve that back. I want it to come, and we need road guidelines on. We're going to come up and be like right there. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks fantastic. And so we're actually going to change orientation of the grid for a second. We're going to begin to go that direction. And then this way, what we can do is actually have this one come up, and then we're going to have it curve into the main road. I think that this is going to be perfect. Yeah, look at that. I really like that. And then that way we can actually change the orientation of the grid again, come this way, go just like that. And then we're going to go like this, and then we're going to come up, do the same thing here. Perfect. And we're probably going to come through here and remove all the lights on that. I really don't want to mess around too much with our these intersections, because it's really going to create a lot of problems if we don't fix it. And then basically on this side, I'm probably going to mimic that. So I'm going to have it curve and then go up here and then dump into the road because we have this big thing here. I think that's probably the best use of our space. Our demand for industrial is going up though. So what we're gonna do, we are gonna come down here, we're gonna inch this up, but then what I wanna do is kind of change the grid pattern a little bit. And this is just something you can do to make it a little more interesting, funnel your traffic. Again, industrial is the biggest problem for traffic, and so you really gotta be careful. Having this one intersection here is just not great. Let's go ahead and speed up our time. We're going to have these start growing in now, which is fantastic. We have a little bit of demand for commercial, but not a lot. Let's go ahead and finish off this road layout. So basically, I'm just going to copy the same thing, exactly what I said, and then we'll come back and start zoning some of this stuff in. All right, so I went ahead and finished off our layout over here. I did connect up a couple road connections going through here as well. I think this looks really good. We have some good connectivity. We may need to come back through and kind of play with some of these intersections, but we do need to lay down some of our services. So we had unlocked the fire service and the police station. I believe we got the high school as well. Yes, we did. Fantastic. So I want to come in here. We had already created this little bit of a service center in here. I was thinking it'd be nice just to get these like right next to each other. So we'll go just like that. And then let's go ahead and do the police station in another location. So we'll come up here. Let's go ahead and turn off anarchy because we really don't need that to be right there. We'll go ahead and place that right there. I think that that is a fantastic location right across the street from some commercial. So that would be really good. Let's go ahead and remove zoning off there so we don't get some sort of houses right behind that. And I think that looks pretty good. And so we do want to come down here. What did we only got the high density. Oh no, we didn't. Oh yeah, it's over here. So community school, and I guess we didn't unlock the high school. When do you unlock it? Oh, so 1400. Sorry about that. I thought for a second that we unlocked it already. And so we do have to wait for to get the high school in, and we still don't have paths yet. So let's go ahead and just start doing some more residential zoning. We still do have some space in here, but our demand is starting to creep up just a bit. So I think it's smart just to kind of future-proof us a bit. We're going to come over here. We are going to put zoning all the way off of this side. Let's go ahead and remove zoning off of that side road. And the way you do that is you come all the way down here, you click that, and that is a standard of this game. So we will go just like this. Fantastic. And then that way we can't come in here, go like that. And you know what? I think that looks pretty good. We can come through here and do some zoning as well. We could get rid of some of the zoning off of this, but honestly, I like the little smaller bits. I think that looks pretty good. And then let's do a little bit of commercial in here. We will come in here. Let's go ahead and go like that. And then I think we're going to remove zoning off of this road. I think that would be smart. This is something that you can kind of think of whenever you're doing your cities too, is like, what would be best for the zoning? Is it good to keep this? Should I remove it? And I think for the overall continuity of this area, it would be smart just to remove it. And so now let's just go ahead and wait. We're going to have that commercial come in. We're going to fill in the rest of these buildings. and then we'll go back through and start filling in the rest of these. And then so for these other areas, we're just going to come through and kind of fill them in. We will do some residential in here. Let's actually keep that for a park area. So we have a big park area here. We have a park / multi-use area there. We'll have, I think this is a little too close to the other park area, so we're going to go ahead and fill that in with that. We're going to go just like this. Let's go ahead and actually look at, so we have a bridge going that way. Would it be smart? So we'll have this bridge, this will bridge here. Maybe we'll do a bridge there. I was kind of looking at this potential arterial, like maybe we should turn that into something more, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think it would be smart just to keep it what it is. And then we will come in here and do some commercial again. We'll go just like that. Fantastic. Remove this. We may even come in here and do like maybe some hotels or something like that. I think that could be a really good use of that space. So then I don't want to get any zoning off of our couplet over here. So we're just going to come in here and let's actually just remove the zoning off of there. I'm going through, I'm just making it harder on myself. Let's remove the zoning, and it does look like I kind of clipped that one side, which is a shame. We will come in here, remove zoning just like that. And I think that's actually a smart use for our arterial as well. I didn't really think about that. So I'm going to go back through, go to 4 unit, click on that same road we had, and then go through and upgrade just so that we can get a little bit wider zoning in some other areas. Yeah, I think that looks a little bit better because now we have zoning here, which is nice. And it just makes it so that we don't have to worry about some zoning randomly popping up, which is always good. And then for this other side, we're just going to come through, going to fill all these in, leave a couple little spaces for some commercial. And then we should be hitting our next milestone here soon. It looks like 1400. And just a few minutes later, we have hit Tiny Town. We're now officially a tiny town. Congratulations. We have reached 1400. We've unlocked quite a bit of stuff on this. So new features, we've got park areas now. We've got industry areas. We got pedestrian areas, landscaping, which is fantastic. We got event policies, park policies, and we have unlocked a ton of new services. So parks and plazas, industry areas, fishing industry, which is awesome. We're definitely going to be capitalizing off of that. Some level 2 unique buildings, football, concerts, and a ton of policies and assets. I am super excited about it. We have unlocked quite a few things. Let's go ahead and do our high school now. I do want to upgrade this. We're going to have this copy the other side exactly like it. So we're going to go just like that. We're going to have this come up, and I do want it to actually come out here. Of course, it doesn't want us to do that. Let's go ahead and hit anarchy just so that we can cheat a little bit. And you know what? We're going to trim this back. I want this to be uniform. I could just say, it doesn't matter, but honestly, it does matter. It's going to bother me if it doesn't look good. So we're going to go like this, and then we're going to connect that up. I don't particularly like that connection. I think that is probably a bad idea. I wonder if we could even maybe just have this come back. That might be a little bit better. So it was 1, 2, so 1, 2. Instead of dumping into that road, maybe we'll have this dump into this road. I think that's probably going to be our best bet. Because then now what we're going to do, building must be placed roadside. And of course, I removed zoning off of that road, which would be bad. We definitely want to zone off of this road. So we're going to go like this, get our zoning back. Perfect. And let's see about placing this. You know what? We're going to do something crazy. The residents are going to be just shocked. They're not sure what happened here, but the elementary school is now magically across the street. We're going to go ahead and call it the Mandela effect and say that it was there the whole time. People are just acting crazy. We're not really sure why they think the elementary school is over here. It surely was not. It never was over there. It was always across the street. And so people are probably going to go a little crazy. We need to promote something a little better. But you know what? That's just the best we got for right now. And then let's go ahead and draw this road down now. Let's connect it up just to copy that other side. It'll look a little bit better. Because then we can go back to our lovely parks. Go to that small playground. I'm tempted to do a parking space. Maybe we'll place a small playground right there. And then let's do parking right next to it. So there is a little bit of parking already, but because it's an elementary school, it's kind of a bigger one. Let's go ahead and do one more. Let's check that out though, because this might be a little too involved of a parking space. Yeah, so it's, it's like a pay one. It's got a couple. That wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense unless like the school board was trying to profit off of its school teachers, which I don't know. I don't think that that's the best use of taxpayer funds to be charging school teachers like that. So we are going to place a different one. We're going to look for a 4x4. We do not need gated plain parking. Perfect. So we're going to go just like this. Fantastic. It has a little light, which is awesome. I like that it still has maybe this like executive parking or something right there. And we are going to come back through and do some trees and stuff. now that we have all that stuff, which is awesome. So what kind of trees should we do? Should we do some of the newer trees? You know, the content creator trees are probably the best. And I dare say, should we do the young linden now that we have the prop line tool back? I love this tool, man. It is just so great. We're going to bump this up to 12, hit that enter button. Yeah, you know what? This is fantastic. Man, I don't have to place down trees. We need to get this in Cities Skylines too. Just by doing this, man, it's like just so relieving. This feels so much better. And then I think we're going to do some bushes too. Bushes are always good. So we'll go just like that. And then let's I think it's the wild hedge. Yeah, we'll do the wild hedge. And then I'm going to drop the spacing all the way down to 2. And then I'll probably butt this all the way around. Let's go ahead and turn on anarchy. And we'll go just like this. And I'm just going to draw this all the way around basically. All right. And just a few moments later. So I did bushes all the way around. And then I did a couple of these Pacific rhododendrons, if I said that right, in between the young lindens, just to kind of clean it up. I think it looks really good. I'm not a huge fan of the dirt roads at the moment. I think I may end up upgrading that. But I want to finish off our high school area first. So we're going to come through here. Let's go ahead and do a larger little parking area, maybe a 2x8. Yeah, I think 2x8 would be good. Yeah, we'll go just like that. I think it's going to be a little too long. You know, we're going to leave it like that. We want to do some sports park areas in here now. So we're going to come into other parks and we are going to do a basketball court. We'll do one just like that. And then let's go ahead and do a tennis court as well. I think we're going to need to do a small road. Let's see. Let's move that around with Move It and see if we can get this into a little better location. I could go in with Bob and remove the stuff. I don't know if I particularly want to do that though. No, you know what? I think that looks okay. I think that our parking is a little too big. Yeah, we're going to have to try a different parking. So going back to it, we're going to go, yeah, you know, 2x5. Perfect. I don't know why I didn't do that one in the first place. That looks good. And then that way we can go ahead and shift this over just a bit, shift this one over, and then let's see if we can get, I normally like to do the sports hall and gymnasium. Honestly, I just don't know if it's going to fit. You know what? I think the standard parking is actually probably better than this. I know I'm going back and forth. Just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. This is the process of elimination sometimes. Yeah, you know, that's definitely the best use of it. That is fantastic. So we have basketball. We got tennis. That might actually be good for now. Maybe we'll see about putting in just a small little regular park. We got a playground over there, but you know, I think this is a good use of this space because then we can come in here, do some pathways. I'm going to go ahead and do the zoo one. I really like the overall peel of this pathway. We're going to turn off snapping. Guess I forgot how big pathways were in Cities Skylines 1. Cities Skylines 2, the pathways are so much smaller. Yeah, you know, that actually looks pretty good. I like that. And then we can get out of Find It. I don't know why I clicked that. Go in to Move It and just kind of shift this forward a little bit. Just make it look a little bit better. Maybe go just like that. Yeah, look at that. I like it. And then we'll come through here. I'm going to do a fence around and then fill it in with trees real quick. All right. And just a few moments later, I kind of went a little crazy. You know, I did trees. I added on to our little playground area over here. I felt like it was a really good addition for the elementary school. And then I did the little pathways over here. I did a pergola kind of tucked in the grass. I did some of these tall boreal trees and then some of the pines. Overall, I think this looks really good. The only thing left for us to do is kind of upgrade those roads, which I do think, sadly, if we upgrade to the bigger 2-unit road, we're actually going to have a little bit of an issue. Yeah, so if we upgrade it, we're going to do one test. This may destroy everything. Let's see. It did. So we're going to go back to 1 unit and let's try a 1-unit road. Yeah, you know what? That looks a lot better. I think overall we're going to go like this. Yeah, I think this just looks a lot better. There we go. Yeah, that looks so much better. I think by the end of this episode, we're going to upgrade all these. But we are making some good money. Let's now turn our heads to, so we have high school, elementary school, we have fire department, we have police department. So we do have quite a bit. What's going on over here? Why is this not enough electricity? Oh man, ooh, look at our electricity. So one of the things I did do on our break, I did bump this up a bit. I could bump this up even more. I think I want to future-proof ourselves though, and we are just going to actually draw in another little area. So we're going to bring this back and then put in another power plant. So I don't think we unlocked any other ones so far. We do have, yeah. solar array, stuff like that. No, I think we're good. So we're going to move this down here, and then let's go ahead and build a second one. I think that's the bet. You know, the power company is deciding that due to future growth plans and estimations that power is going to be something that's necessary. It does look like water is also going to become an issue. Let's go ahead and we're going to do a water pumping station. We already have the water tower. I think it looks fantastic. We don't really need to do a second one just yet. You know, this is like the city of Cancun's water tower. I think it's just an awesome little location, but we do need some more water. So we're going to get rid of that tall industrial building. I think it looks just terrible. And then let's go ahead and actually slide this over and then put the parking in the middle. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks fantastic. Yeah, we're going to go just like that. And so our demand for industrial is climbing up yet again. Let's go ahead and upgrade these roads because these are definitely going to become roads that do need to have the larger lanes. We're going to go just like that. Let's go ahead and upgrade this as well because I don't think this just, again, is not the greatest use of this space. I don't like this setup, this circle. You know what? We're going to get rid of it. We're going to pause. What we're going to do, we're going to keep the two bridges. All we're doing is getting rid of the circle. It looks really good. And honestly, it's probably great in a lot of settings. I just don't think it's the best use of what we're trying to do. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of this going all the way down. And then we're going to go ahead and get rid of this as well. All right. So I think that's probably going to have to do for now. We're definitely not straight on this one. It's kind of a little frustrating. It's got a little bit of a curve to it. So if we go ahead and bring this back, let's go right there. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. I think we're still going to come back through here and kind of rework this. This is going to create a little bit of an issue for us. We might even be able to do just a small roundabout in here. Let's see. So if we go shorter, it's going to be a little close. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out well. Maybe let's see how this looks. And then we're going to do another one. We'll do just like that. Yeah, it's a small roundabout, but honestly, because they're so close together, that may work. Because this intersection is right here, it's going to be a little bit of an issue for us. So we do want to go into traffic manager and then control shift click. Perfect. There we go. We have set up yield signs for that. Let's go ahead and fix this. We'll probably keep that like that. Is there in-game lights? There is. Let's go ahead and remove the in-game lights for this. I don't think that this is going to be a great location for lights. Yeah, so we'll remove those lights. And then let's go ahead and remove this light, remove this light, remove this light, and remove this light. And then what we'll do is we'll actually shift click on this. And that's going to make this into a priority road so that we have the yield signs going on. And this is traffic manager that I'm using. And so we're going to actually control shift on this one too. And it's not going to recognize it. Yeah, there we go. That worked. So we also have yields going into the square, which is awesome. So this is kind of used as a square about. And already we're looking pretty good. I think that this connection is going to work out a little bit better. We opened up some free space in here for us to utilize as well, which is awesome. Let's go ahead and upgrade this front road to a 2-unit road. Industrial is very important. We don't want to cause some headaches with this. And so we do need to upgrade some of our industrial. We're going to come back here. We're going to have this road go straight. And I think ultimately what we're going to do is we're going to create another freeway connection in here. We're going to have it kind of dump in, potentially even go into a tunnel. I think that could look good and then connect up over here too. Because I do like these being split. I think it's a really cool look. I really kind of like this bridge too. I think that looks awesome. Yeah, that looks really cool. But then if we were to snake a road in here to the other side, I think it would look really cool with a little tunnel kind of action. Maybe have it show above ground a little bit. And there we are. Congratulations. We are now a boom town. We've reached a population of 2,600. And so we have unlocked a lot on this transport, airport areas. Man, we've really touched a lot on this episode. We have done a lot more than I was anticipating, but I'm glad that we did. Let's go ahead and get this zoning in here. We'll bring this all the way across, go just like that. And then we're going to have these kind of dump in, go just like this. And then we'll come back through with traffic manager, remove the lights. And then we are just going to come through here and zone these in with industrial. I don't want any zoning off that front road though. So we're going to go ahead and go just like that. I think we may even do what we did already. So grab that road, remove zoning. We really want to make sure that the traffic on this road is not being impeded in any way. See, we want to go like this. And so there we go. That way we can go ahead and zone these in. get our industrial in, start filling that demand. So I think that's pretty good. We did a lot on this episode. We got our first road layout out. We kind of played around with this junction a little bit. We got some industrial, which we got another one of those huge buildings. I'm going to go ahead and demolish that. I think that looks terrible. We are going to work on transportation on the next episode, as well as expanding out some more of our layout. We're going to be doing some more zoning, and I really want to get some cool stuff in here, like maybe some parks, something fun. So if you guys got any ideas for Cancun, go ahead and let me know. I do want to be a more tourist-centric city, since that's kind of the city that we're calling ourselves. And so I think that's really fun. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a detailing time lapse. The goal is just go through here, kind of fill in a lot of these spaces, these like little barren spaces. It just doesn't look good. I'm going to go and do some trees. I think I'm going to clean up these little sections too, probably do some tree lines. Going to clean this up a bit, just overall make it look a little bit better, maybe even fill in some of these zones and stuff. And so I hope you guys enjoy. I will catch you on the other side. Okay, so I think this is it. I really didn't do too much because I feel like we're going to have a lot of room for some really fun builds with some of these empty spaces in here, like the park areas, the transportation hub we're going to end up doing. I pretty much just upgraded all the roads. I do think it looks a lot better. I was looking at the dirt roads like, man, I really just don't like the overall look of them. We are going to come through here with some district styles as well. You can see some of these buildings are just really kind of weird in there. And it's just from assets that I have downloaded off of the Steam Workshop. I did do trees going all the way around. I just did the native trees to the area, which look like the oaks and then those California palms, just to make it look a little more natural, like maybe it's some overgrowth kind of going into the city. And then I did this worn suburban road going all the way around. I felt like it was just a really cool look. It's got some wear decals on it, just to make it look like maybe it's a little bit older. and that it's got these nice sidewalks too, which I really like. I was kind of trying to look for a 1-unit road that was like that. I may end up going on the Steam Workshop and trying to find one, but overall our city looks pretty good. It does look like we have an abandoned building somewhere down here. It looked like maybe it just disappeared, but I think this looks really good. Go ahead and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and let me know. I'm super excited about this build. If you enjoyed this episode, then go ahead and check out the video on your screen, and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.